こんにちは。ちょっとゲームの音が爆音で直したいんですけど、始めないと直せないっぽい感じがするので始めました。ちょっとコメントとかつないでいくのでお待ちくださいね。ちょっとゲームの声が来たか直したいんですけど、始めないと直せないっぽい感じがするので始めました。声は残ってる。で、ハーストーリーつながった。OK、コメントも大丈夫そうなのでやりましょう。ちょっと音でけえんだけど、やります。スタート。アカウント名、ゲストになってる。データベース、アーカイブにアクセスするための検索ワードを入力してください。検索ワード、殺人。すごいなんか昔のパソコンのこの丸みを帯びた感じみたいになってる。殺人でいいの？検索。ある。はい。
You think it's murder?
殺人だと思う？
I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
タグ。入れられるんだ。はい。見てないやつだけマークついてる。
Yeah, that's me. But February, I mean, that was months ago.
2
What's
月
that got to do with Simon's murder?
サイモン。これガチでメモった方がいいやつ？メモ取るか一応。よいしょ。待ってね、メモ帳用意するわ。2月サイモン。多分これをどんどん検索していくんだよな。はいよ。
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now.
弁護士。
You have no murder weapon. You have nothing.
凶器。
And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
作り話もいい。メモっておいて、でこれを多分保存されたクリップ、この辺はない。ログオフがリードミー。だから音小さくするのできないのか？設定の画面出てこないから、ちょっと OBS の方でちっちゃくしちゃうね。こんぐらいあれば平気？こんなもんにしとくね。音大きいとかあったら教えてくれ。2月から入れてみるか。あった。2月 OK。
Well, I don't know. I probably had to pop out and get something. That's why I was speeding.
用事があって急いでて。
And that wouldn't have been noted on my timesheet. But I really can't remember back to February.
2月 OK。次サイモンさん。めっちゃあるじゃん。これは動かせるわけじゃん。何日も話してんね。服がいろいろだから。サイモン・スミス。
They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things. really beautiful things.
待って、もう一回聞かして。会社の名前メモリスミ、
Simon Smith.
メモリスミ
He
ス。
works at Ernst Brothers Glass.
アーンストブラザー、アーンストブラザーズ。
Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things.
とりあえず会社の名前はメモった。
It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock.
ザ・
It's
ロ
run by a
ック。
nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
待って、一応名前もメモっ
It's
た。
the Rockington
ピーター
Arms,
とスー
the
ザン。
Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
何の罪に問われてるんだろうね、この人は。
Yes, there's an
ア
abstract
ムス
one.
トラッド。
No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games.
ゲーム？
Climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
ん？
Yes, there's an abstract one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games. You know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
うん。
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident.
サイモンさんが死んだってこと？
So what do we do next? Thanks. Please find Simon.
あ、いなくなっちゃったの。サイモンさん、愛してる。いろいろ出てきすぎてるから、ちょっとサイモン・スミスもやっとくね。スミス。あ、これだけだわ。これは弁護士。あ、出てきた。
Can I leave? Are you going to arrest me? No. They'd laugh you out of the building. A lawyer would make mincemeat of you.
やっぱ捕まりそうになって。
Yes, I understand my rights. No, I don't need a lawyer.
弁護士 OK。OK。ない。あった。髪型違う。
Sounds weird. I'm not great at making up stories.
大したあれじゃん。時系列がよくわかんないんだけど。用事。
Like I said, I think I was popping out to get something, ran out of something, had to grab something. I sometimes drive too fast. If you want, you can arrest me for that.
スピード違反。スピードっていうのはちょうど検索しようとしてたんだ。ないか。あ、これしかなかった。ガラスがどうなってて。あ、ガラスいっぱいある。
No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though.
絵が
He
ね。
takes them off with the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper.
近いものが見え
And
な
then
い
you're
ん
in a
だ。
restaurant. Not book so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
うんうん。
I did. Well, we met when we were 17,
や
both
っぱ
working
ガ
at
ラス屋さん
places.
で知り合ったんだ。17歳とか関係あんのかな。わかんないけど。この
We
服
couldn't
かわいい。
afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full time at the Glaziers.
うん
That
う
was
ん。
Eric's
ガラス屋
generosity.
さんね。
We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby if it came.
あっちゃん。
It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope.
サイモンがいなくなっちゃってこの人が疑われてるってことなんだよね、とりあえ
And the
ず。
Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job there too.
うん。
That was Eric's generosity. It was always good at
Eric.
helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys.
物静
Even
かな
then, he
人。
had a sense of craftsmanship.
う
Wasn't always
ん
rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look.
あ、そんなイケメンだっ
Fairy
た
tale
の。
prince from one of my books.
へえ。これで終わりだもんね。ガラスが意外といっぱい出てきた。ザ・ロック。飲み屋さんだね。ザ・ロック。あ、出てきた。
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job, but he didn't show.
金曜の夜に事件が起きたんだね。
I checked at the Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but
うん
not
うん。
since.
言ってたね。
He still wasn't back this morning.
うん。
Just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come and see you.
ああ。
His parents haven't heard anything
こ
either.
の時は捕まえられるとかじゃなくて、帰ってこないんですっていうことを言いに来てたんだ。警察も入れとく。あ、待って、これも。
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
うんうんうん。で、ザ・ロックの店主さんがピーターさんらしい。ない。スーザンが奥さん。ない。ヘレンが娘さん。あ、出てきた。ヘレン出てくる。
I think he spoke to Helen.
口論
Said
に
he
な
was
った
upset
の？
about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
ブロンドの女が好き。ブロンド。まあ、結構広いスペースにメモしてたつもりなんだけど、結構いっぱいになってくるね、これ。アムストラッド。出てこない。彼がゲームが好きって言ってたので、ゲーム。出てこない。パソコンも出てこない。プリンターも持ってるって言ってたから、プリンターは出てこない。多分94年の話なんだよね。その昔のパソコン感がすごい、このギュギュギュギュギュって言って。実装についてはない。事故あった。
When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point, and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day, and I left. Walked out and across the street.
この人が育った家が養子だったってこと？お、なんか急に BGM が流れ始めた。
When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace?
Grace Kelly.
She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them. 同じ夢を見たことがあるってこと？事故は愛してる。はい。逮捕。あ、いっぱい出てきた。Are you arresting me? No. Fuck off. めっちゃ怒ってる。Open this door. うん。This is a nice room. This is where you take people when it's time to arrest them. 最初はなんか、いや、逮捕すんなってふざけんなよみたいな言ってたのに、7月の時点ではなんかもう、でも7月2日で7月3日だもんな。Yes. No lawyer. What are you going to arrest me for? やっぱ逮捕されたんだ。タトゥーがあるって言ってたから、タトゥーはあ、出てきた。このね、タトゥーしてるよね。I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake. リンゴとヘビ。アダムとイブって。So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings, so I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. バーで歌ってるの今？ガラス屋さんじゃなくて。I don't exist. なんでそんなこと言うの？ He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously, I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. 似てる? He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. これタトゥーある人とない人と2人いる？顎じゃないにしても。なんかそういうことな気がしてきたな。傷。Suicide? No. 自殺。He would never do anything like that. He is not the kind of person to do anything like that. I mean, to hurt himself? No. この人タトゥーないよね。I never had my fingerprints taken before. I once put my hand in the oven. やけど。 If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too.
やっぱそうだよ
A
ね。
gross knee, a bruise.
事故の証明ってそういうことか。
We had to pull our harness to match.
花っていうのがもう一人か。
Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. And she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snuck a frozen piece up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies were synchronized anyway. We started our period on the same day. Went on childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
生理病気なんかだんだん分かってきた気がしてくるのがすごいな、このゲーム。面白いね。なるほどね。メガネよ。メガネなし。17歳。これだ。ない。赤ちゃん。あ、出てきた。
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton.
ブラ
It
イ
would have
ト
been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday.
旅行
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff,
あし
stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags.
え
Pulled them open,
だよね。
saw the body. I screamed and that's when I called the police.
あ、なんか顔が俺の顔ってこと
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake. Children sang me
職
happy
場で
birthday.
子供たちが
Then I came home.
絶対バーで歌ってる人じゃ
Birthday
ない
meal
も
was a
んな。
takeaway, and Simon gave me his present,
プレゼント
which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. Turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
うん。
1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police.
うわ
Forensic
誰が
entomologist. I had to look that up.
大井昆虫学者
Because of the heat. It's just awful.
うん 赤ちゃんはエリック。あ、出てきた。
He was wearing a shirt, with a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
どんな格好をしてるかっていう、いなくなった時の話。
Yes, there's a car that we share,
Cavalier.
a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked on the street.
車はなくなってないよってことね。
The van. I can look for you when I get back. Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one.
エリックさんは結構その旦那さんと親しい、旦那さん、サイモンと親しい感じだった。
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
はいや。エリック調べると、職人なし。金曜。また。
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night. After the argument, after Simon left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car.
赤ちゃんのことが何かあったのかな。金曜で土曜出てきた。どうした？
I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. When I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house.
口論した後やっぱいなくなっちゃって、でサイモンが帰ってこなくてっていう感じなんだよね。大丈夫？あ、吐いてる吐いてる。
It was late, early Saturday morning. A week or so ago. It would have been the Saturday before my birthday. You know, I get like that on the weekends, have a lie-in, then want to get up and blitz the house.
警察。
I haven't been into work. I guess I've just been waiting to hear from you, hear from my husband.
旦那さんなんだよ。取って言ってるもん。
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly in the living room. Nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor.
ダグとエレノアはメモったっけ？
Don't know.
エレノアがメモった。
A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off. I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But
イブ。
I blamed everything on my friend Eve.
ああ、やっぱりイブなんだ。花じゃなくて。順番にやってるから、なかなかたどり着かないかもしれないけど。口論。
There's no couple stuff. A stupid argument. Nothing specific. No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to. No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way. Yes. He left after the argument. It was about 8 o'clock.
ねえ、口論ができたからブロンド。
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven.
彼の
If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. I bought a photo. They said a shrink.
あ、彼の写真
This was taken last year on holiday in Rome.
ローマ。
It's the best one I have.
どこなんだその。さっきポーツマスとか言ってたし、ドイツとかの。
This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap?
猫。これ明らかにもう違う人になってるってことだもん。あ、なんか弾いてる。
You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay. Probably needs tuning. No, it's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street.
と
Sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain, but he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain, with a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. So she pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain.
入れ替わったのかな。どっちがどっちなんだろうな。
Slowly drowned.
終わり？
It's really weird, so I think that's a good place to stop.
変な展開になる。息子とかもいるのか。ブロンドが終わり。8歳。なし。階段。なし。母。あるな。
Yeah, when I was at school. I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though, I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till. Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out. I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah.
Sarah.
Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
左右対称が嫌だった。自分が双子だったからってことだよね。
My mother called me Eve.
やっぱイブなの。イブとハナなの。間違えた。何も入れてないのに出た。何も入れないっていうこと。
Black coffee, thanks. No sugar. Sweet enough as it is. My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H.
やっぱりこっちの人が。ああ、だからさっき左右対称が嫌な。
Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
グラッドストーンストリート。グラッド
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
グラッド。
A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. Oh, it's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle.
ちょっといくらでもありすぎて大変だな。で日記。あ、見てないのいっぱいある。
No, he doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing. I've kept one, well, as long as I can remember, since I was a girl. It helps make sense of my day. And when you're forced to put something into words, it just gives you perspective. Everyone's on the same page.
これはエヴァなん
Across
だ
the
よね。
road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence.
イブか。
When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
また
Florence was a warm, kind
ローレン
person,
スが育ててたの？でも
but she was broken, I guess.
おかしいよな。一
When
緒
I
に
found
育
her
ったんじゃ
diary,
ない
I
の？
found a biscuit tin
ゆ
with
が
other
み？
stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story was in there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand. I guess I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war.
そう。
And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her
20歳
20s.
で再婚もダメなの？
But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
ローレンスさんのことも気になるの。
I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from.
人形
I
の
don't know
家
if
って何？
it's given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there.
ああ、その人形の家がでかかったって。
Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
どうなんだろうな。経緯でこない。レイ。夢。あ、出てきた。
No, I was 15. Carl was older,
ある。
17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. It's stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months.
うん。
It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
家族。さすがにメモる場所がなかった。家族。で、次入れてない。あ、まだある。夢がまだ見てないな。
We were obsessed with fairy tales.
おぎ話。
Not just the pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
王子様とかさっきも言ってたから、王子様、ラプンツェルとか調べるか。
There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people,
王女
more
も出て
important
く
than
る。
the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical.
やっぱ双子だよ
We were
ね。
the
ついに
princesses.
出てきた。
We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad,
う
we
ん。
felt for her.
ダイアナはね、かわいそうだよ
Her
ね。
divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
うん。夢が終わったから、次。リンゴと指。これはそれか。バー。結構出てきた。
No, he was as shy as me. I asked a friend to ask him out for me. We had our first date at the Odeon in
で、
North
オ
End.
ンザ。
The
映
AC
画。
Risky Business. I had on my one best dress. Simon paid. He bought me a whisper, and I was worried about getting chocolate on my teeth.
かわいい。青春白書って言ってた。一応メモとか。有名詞っぽいのとかちょっと気になる。
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first.
あ、カールはさっき出てきたね。
He was a local boy in a band.
バンドの人。
He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15. Nothing else happened that night. We talked, then I said goodbye. Then next week I was singing in the bar again, and there he was. And again the next week.
なんかわざとなのかわざとじゃないのかわからないけど、
I told them I had already eaten, and so we got chips and ate them on the beach instead. When we said goodbye, he asked me to kiss him. Romantic. I told her it was one of my boyfriends, someone I had met in the bar. I think she was happy, but I could tell she was thinking, why couldn't it happen to her and Simon? They were the ones with the real life. Why not them?
バーがこれで終わりと。あ、またあのやつ。
Really? Okay. Here's the rest.
あ、続きか。
He Yes, he made fiddle pegs from the finger bones of the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone, or the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone, or the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was all the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was all the dreadful wind and rain.
イエーイ。
Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
証拠。歌が終わった。自殺。ない。やけど。ない。花。ついに。ああ、出てきてる。泣いてる？
What are you doing talking about Eve?
何これ？モールス信号？保存でしょ。なんか読まなきゃいけないんだきっとあれ。
Yes.
嘘発見しみたい。花じゃないよこの人。
Sorry.
イブでしょ。
She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
花が終わった。同期していた。整理ある。よいしょ。
Can you imagine? I tried to get pregnant too, but
一緒にしたかったから妊娠したかったっ
as it
て
was
こと
so
だよ
many
ね。
boys, men, my body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was pretty ill. I mean, how could we stay the same now? Felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become different.
どっちが花でどっちがイブなんだ結局。
I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic spell. And they say lightning doesn't strike twice. I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us.
なんかこの話してるのも花とイブがいるのか？
Waited.
よくわからない。
Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was.
どっちが花でどっちが病気あと
Well, she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him
なんか
because
心理検査かなん
he's
か
ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends.
どっちがその一緒じゃなきゃいけないって思ってるんだ。イブの方でも花とも言ってんだよな。ダイアン。あ、出てきた。
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that
エ
sort
リ
of
ックの
thing.
奥さん
They have
みたい
two
な言ってたんだっ
kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
け。
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It
婚
would
記
have
念
been
日。
Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, it must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
グラスゴー。めっちゃヨーロッパなのことはわかるんだ。これ。
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off CFAX, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket.
フェンネルって何？
Have you ever eaten fennel?
また歌ってる。
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
大掃除。これだけか。どこから行こう。ブライト。はい。こう。ない。両親。ある。
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married.
もう1回目はみたいに言ってたんだから 2回目があるんだ
I
よね。
lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months.
ユーザンとかも入れとく。
We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after.
1回目は妊娠したけど流産しちゃって、でそれで結婚してもう子供が生まれないと思ってたのに妊娠したんだ。
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents.
うん。画質結構ある。
The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You can probably check that.
死体が入ってたっていうや
Go
つ。
into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there.
キノコ。
The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours.
うん。
Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. Only worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't looked in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out.
地下室って誰の死体があったの？サイモンの？
And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation.
葬式。
So, it happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
うん。
I hoover, I dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage. And she still has a secret like that.
箱が終わった。プロ。うん、終わっている。誕生日。Oh.
Yes, that's my birthday. Not one of the big ones, but I guess you can see that. It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present. No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
うん。
I mean, it wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror, a nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it especially for me.
姫様を入れた。
About 8 years back, it was a present to myself. I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have 1 cup. Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me.
カツラの話も
They
してたの。
talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier.
二人ともその時にいたのか。
That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd
そう
only
い
meant
う
to
こ
scare
と
him
か。
off.
二人ともいたんだそこに。出てこない。ね。出てこない。ない。ダグ。
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them.
双子の誕生日だからどっちも誕生日なんだもん。
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school.
夕食を作る仕事をしてるのか。
Not just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
したい。したい。
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policeman. I found the body. His body didn't look real. And his throat didn't look like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. There's these thick glasses. It doesn't always wear.
虫。ない。腕時計。時計。ない。キャバリア。ない。財布。あ、1個出た。
He has a wallet, a huge silly thing, leather, real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. He sets the discs. I haven't seen it, so he must have it on him.
一番最初の方だよね。
He always takes it out of his back pocket before when he comes in, if he's in the house.
財布が終わって会議。あ、出た。会議。
There was a conference, something to do with double glazing.
オックスフォード。結局この人たちが住んでるのはどこなんだろう。ヨーロッパ周辺なのはわかるんだけど。
What would he be doing in Oxford if there was no conference? I remember calling him. He said it was boring and he spent most of the time at the bar.
会議、携帯電話、なし。充電器、なし。フローレンスありそうだよね。フローレンス、あるね。
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion. Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road.
窓って入れたっけ？
I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror.
ねえ、鏡とかよく出てくる。
She was me.
鏡は後で調べようと思って出てる。
No, it was just me and her. It was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week. ローレンス意外と出てこなかった。手紙。同じだ。演奏。 When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by typing out a code that we'd learned from a book. The knock code. Something prisoners of war would use.
やっぱモールス信号かな。
or the attic floor.
さっきのな。
Dad thought we had mice, but they couldn't find any. Or a cat anyway.
Icon ない。時代ない。結婚。あ、違う、そっちじゃない。結婚。こっち、マリッジの。
A long time. We got married when I was 17. Childhood sweethearts. Something like that. Are you married, detective? I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
人形の家。
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move
やっ
back.
ぱそこに住んでたん
And
だ。
Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, the dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there. Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories.
あ、なんか来た。どんな感じだ？終わったのか？ SB って誰？終わってないです。ああ。これでとりあえずその真相に至るだけの情報はできたってことなのかな。パスポートない。ガが入ってきてって言ってたがない。カール初めてセックスした男みたいなやつですね。よいしょ。
Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon. Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly
一人として生きてたってことな
learned
の
that you can't
か。
rely on confidence to get you through everything.
だから同じじゃなきゃいけなかった
She
っ
is
て
the
こと
shy
なのか。
one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush.
花が出会っ
I let him
て、
take my virginity
うん、
after a night that his band had played at.
花が出会って、
It got difficult.
うん、
When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses.
そういうことだよね。
After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze.
同じように歯を抜いたりしてたんだもんね。
We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
なるほどな。二人いるんじゃなくて、イブの方は戸籍上存在しない存在なんだ。
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another card on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time. I wouldn't say that. It could be passionate. It's just, it was more than that. It wasn't just sex like I had been with the other boys.
入れ墨入ってる方と入ってない方はどういう差なんだ？どっちが花でどっちがイブなんだ？
You're reaching here.
でもイブがリンゴとヘビを入れるはずだよな。
No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care.
でもサイモン、
Why are you trying to make me sad?
ハールとのことがあってサイモンと寝て、
Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs? You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing? No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow. So we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't.
そうか、その間はイブは一人だったんだ。
In case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig.
はいはいはい。
Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs, parks and alleyways.
でもさ、子供が生まれたらさ、子供は明らかに違うじゃん。ここはどうするつもりだったの？
Felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD.
でも結局流産したんでし
When
ょ？
we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people?
うん、
That seemed
そりゃ
like
そう
the
だよ
right
な。
thing to do, but neither of us wanted it.
二人とも嫌だったの。
We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in.
サイモンは
That
ど
was
う
the
い
plan.
うことなんだろう？どこから知ってたんだろう？あ、違う違う違う。次が紅茶。あ、結構出た。
Could I have a cup of tea? A cup of tea would be good, thanks. Just one sugar.
紅茶好きな人とコーヒー好きな人がいる？
Maybe a fresh cup of tea? Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked.
うん、
I
言っ
could
てた
tell
ね。
because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left.
これは言って
I
たよ。
walked in.
うん。
Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom, he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower.
これなんか見
Whilst
た
I
気
was
が
in
す
the
るんだ
shower,
け
the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and
見た気するな。お茶、新聞見てる。コート見てる。シャワー見てる。ベッド。ああ、意外と見てないな。
in the bedroom. That can't be right. In the bedroom. I sleep on the right side of the bed as you come in from the door. You can tell because I have 2 pillows and he just has 1. Yeah. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage,
両親が亡くなった時のこと
the worst year of my life. And I'd been so happy to get married, and after that, it was just like,
うん
fuck.
エレノア
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just
ああああああああコーヒーのシミって取れないのよねってなんか今出てきたんだけどコーヒーなのボブ・ディラン出てこないねタクシー
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
うん
It's like I told you before. I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think, put some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering. And then I decided to drive back. I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon.
ポーツマスないイブは絶対あるでしょうねえ
Well, my friend Eve.
私は友達って言ってた
She was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes. Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it under. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. We made up after. It was a love-hate relationship.
イブが終わって夫婦。
When you've been married for 10 years, stuff accumulates. You could argue about anything. And he's so nice. That doesn't help. He tries to smooth things over, and that just makes it worse. We're both passive-aggressive, so we never normally argue directly about anything. Good. Happy. I mean, ups and downs like any couple, I guess, but we've been married for over 10 years. So, our sex life is probably fairly average for a couple after 10 years of marriage.
8時。
I think when I drove back it was about 8 or something. And I got back to the house about 3.
ローマ。はい。猫。猫はカタカナ。出てる
No, they were shut. Most of the windows were really hard to open anyway. They're stifling in summer. They were painted over by my dad. Could have left a door open accidentally. Or there's a cat flap in the back door. No, no cat. My parents had a cat before they died called
かわいい名前だ。
It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about the cat flap, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it. We loved our cat, Domino. He had this little bell around his neck to stop him from killing birds in the garden. And we used to write each other notes and put them in the bell.
猫でやり取りしてた。
Mum found some of the notes once and she thought I was just writing to myself because our handwriting was identical. And we had our own words for things, so she didn't quite understand them anyway.
ギター。
No, Simon didn't play guitar. He wasn't very musical. He liked to listen, but he was tone deaf.
Okay. これか。
Yes. Yeah, it's my guitar.
ギターを持ってたけど弾けるのはイブの方だけってこと。息子ない。あらない。鏡、絶対鏡あるね。鏡。
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since.
左右対称ないか。コーヒーだよね。コーヒー。あ、出てきた。
Yes. I got to Glasgow. I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from a payphone, and then headed back.
こっちが。
Black no sugar. Thanks. No. I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water.
うん。家族。うん。おとぎ話。あ、出てくる。
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite.
やっぱラプンツェルなんかありそうだよな。まあその幽閉されてた方っていうのがイブなんだろうな。
Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can. Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me.
ローレンス
Do you want to hear the story? It's a real life fairy tale. Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches,
魔女は初めて出てきた。
magical mirrors, and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
うん。イラスト。同じか。王子。
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's
やっ
born.
ぱりラプンツェル出てくる
Mother
ね。
Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
うん。
I don't know if anyone really changes. You just become more yourself. Simon was my prince, and that hasn't changed.
うん。ラプンツェル。まだあるか。
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again? Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
うん。王女も出てくるから王女。王女は違う。双子。うんうん。
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question? Are you out of your mind? Twins?
双子かって聞かれた時なのかな。ダイアナ妃が死んだ時。
Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The training wasn't quite as long though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
トレーンって何？ダイアナまで行った。ポスターなし。オデオンザ。あれ？でも出てきた。
She was sat behind him. She had my wig on. And she'd been there all day. And she had blood on her. And she was in shock.
Hmm. ない。映画ない。で、青春白書。白書ない。バンドない。だいぶもうやってきたからかな。ビーチキス。あ、出た。
Yes. I thought about telling Hannah. I felt guilty after the kiss. But then it began to feel like this was the way it should be. Sharing, like we had before. He never mentioned her to me. There was the Simon with me and the Simon with her. It was almost like it was a different Simon. But after the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me. I almost burst out laughing.
風、雨、そっちじゃない。雨、こっち。ない。紙。
What kind of hairs?
それだけ？よいしょ。フィードルって何？楽器のことっぽかったけど。ない。証拠。屋根裏。出てるね。妊娠。まだある。
Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. This morning sickness.
終わりもあるかな。あれ、結婚記念日。記念日の方がのか。無理ですね。プラス5。あ、出てる。
I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. sleep.
間違えた。見てないのに。
No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning.
これ消したいんだけど。あー、こういう風に検索履歴見れるんだ。グラスゴーが出て、ハブ。
No, not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but no, he doesn't have any kind of drinking problem. God, I don't know. Could be anyone. Maybe someone followed him back from the pub. But why would he let them in? Doesn't make sense.
ねえ。ペンネル。はい。ユーさん。あるな。
Yeah. I mean, I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications.
なるほど。流産した時の影響でもう産めないだろうって言われてたの
Hannah had a
ね。
miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile. Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then...
あるんかい。
They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick
ああ、
mushrooms.
集団
Frozen too.
死んだ理由
They said it was the mushrooms.
こんな理由で死んだの？
It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, I mean, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them.
イブが殺したとかってこと？
I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time. I was depressed, was still pretty sick of the STD. And I came down one morning and they were dead. They were in bed and both had been sick. They'd thrown up a lot. And I slept through it. The police said it was the mushrooms they ate. Dad was a mushroom expert. I mean, he used to take us picking with him and he taught us how to recognize them. And there's no way you would have picked death caps.
いつから入れ替わり続けてんの？
But the police believe that's what happened. They never even looked in the attic.
葬式。
Yes, it was a cremation for the best. We both wore black and had veils, so it was easy. And after the funeral, everyone came back to the house. Hannah served up sandwiches. And I stayed out of sight.
うん。禁止。はい。タバコ。ない。秘密。
Okay, you got me. I'll confess. We were there. It was a dirty weekend. Simon was going to expense it, pretend it was a business trip. I used a made-up name. We stayed at the hotel, had room service, didn't leave the room, had a great view of the river, and you could hear the church bells. Like you said, it was very romantic. It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford.
どっちがどっちなの？姫様。ウィッグ。あ、出てきた。
A wig? You mean... But what type of wig? No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig? This was about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left.
給食。違う、そっちじゃない。給食。こっち。なし。あざ。あざ。
Bruise. Oh yeah, no, it's nothing. I was going through the top
そう、これなんかあざついてるよ。これ、その二人で殴り合ったからってことか。
Yeah, like hell.
クスをない。窓は多分ありすぎる。リンゴ。ネズミ。少女。窒息。ドミノ。猫だよ。魔女。もう一個ある。
I wanted to see my reflection. I thought that if I touched her, something would happen. We would become one. One girl. The fairy tale was over, the witch was dead, and I'd be restored to my rightful place.
ない。17歳。サイの字がな。サイ、これだ。出てる。トレーン。レーンって何？馬。なし。座り。はいはい。ドラッグ。ワイン。 宇宙、食中毒。はい。
At the time they said it was poison, food poisoning. I mean, I felt so guilty. If I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something. I don't know.
仮想。喪服。ロマンチック。少女。書き出してるのはこれで終わりだ。今のところ。ついに。多分これで全部やったかな。掃除とか大掃除だけしか入れてないのがあるから、大掃除にして。あ、出た。
Yes, yeah. I would have cleaned them. I changed the sheets too, with the fingerprints in all those places.
コンピューターテクノロジーは現代の警察活動の根幹を担うものであり、このロジックデータベースは我々の仕事の流れをデジタル化し、より活用しやすい形で証拠を保存するための試みの一つです。犯罪に対処するために最重要なツールとして、コンピューターの需要は今後も一層高まっていくことが予想されています。このデータベースにはポーツマスの凶悪犯罪関連アーカイブより集めたビデオ映像が収録されています。やっぱポーツマスなんだね。データは ASR テクノロジーによって自動的に整頓され、各証言は個別のクリップに分割されて保存されているため、それぞれにキーワードを追加するタグをつけることで法廷への提出の際に活用することができます。クリップを取得する際には検索ボックスに言葉を入力する必要があり、言葉を入力して検索するとその言葉が含まれるクリップが表示されます。はいはいはい。テープを文字に起こした。強盗スーパーマーケットみたいな2つ入れることもできるんだね。ダブルコーテーションで囲うことでその発言と完全に一致するクリップを見つけ出すこともできる。その場所にいたわ。検索したクリップを後で参照したい場合はセッションに保存を行う。タグボックスに任意のキーワードをその言葉からクリップを検索できるようになります。はいはい。こいつがデータベースだ。情報公開法に沿って申請し、ゲストとしてのアクセス権を取得しておいたよ。見たところちゃんと機能しているようだな。オリジナルのビデオテープからの移行は1999年に行われたみたいだが、その後 Y2K 騒ぎなんやらで、こいつは放置されたままになっていたようだ。残念ながら刑事の映像が入ったサーバーの方は見つけられなかった。あるいは97年の洪水の際にやられてしまったのかもな。何にせよこれだけでも情報としては十分なはずさ。なんだ。あれ。ブラックウィズプラス。どういうこと？何？一人でできんの？何これ、一人でやってどうすんのよ、こんなこと。これを埋めたらなんかあんのか？一人二役ってことか？ 何が終わったら終わったと言えるの？終わったって言ってみるか。終わった。子供なのか。なぜあんなことをしたのか。なぜ？愛とかそういうこと？別人？なんて言ったらいいわけ？なんて入力すればいいんだこれ。やっぱりこれかな。ね。えーっと何をやったらいいんだろう。ヒント。うーん。なるほど。とりあえず検索ワードはいっぱいあるやつを5個じゃないやつを絞った方がいいってことね。5個じゃないの同士を入れたらいいか。赤ちゃんサイモンとか。あ、出た。
That's all that matters, really. The baby. Simon's dead, but the baby, that's how he will live on. Our baby.
うん。エリックもいっぱいあるんだよね。同じような。 サイモン、口論、夢、花、イブ、花、赤ちゃん、イブ、赤ちゃん、ない。両親ね。両親、花。両親、サイモン。ありすぎて出てきてないんだよな。誕生日。花、誕生日。イブ、誕生日。サイモン、誕生日。ダグ。出てないんだよな。サイモン。サイモン。大。赤ちゃんしたり。結婚ね。イブ。結婚。結婚。赤ちゃん。花。あ、なんか出た。
Simon was very moral about that sort of thing. He wouldn't just walk out there and sleep with anyone.
なんか結構真面目な人そうだもんね。聞
He
く
wasn't that
感
kind
じ。
of guy. He took his marriage very seriously. 両親。どうするべきなんだろう。イブ、セックス。サイモン。あ、出た。It lasted about 6 months. I tried to carry on, but everything was different. Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him. We didn't share him like the others.
共有とかやってみる。
Me living in the attic had become weird in a way it hadn't been before.
共有。あ、出た。
Just became our way of life. We would swap places and take it in turns to do things.
そういうことだよ
And we were
ね。
very careful. Whoever had been out that day would come back and write a detailed diary so that we were on the same page. We had a list of rules that said what we could and couldn't do in any given situation.
日記ってやったっ
It
け？
was exhaustive. We lived a second life through those rules. Rules for things that could only ever happen inside our imaginations. We would consider all the permutations of future events and agree rules to walk our way through them.
赤ちゃんが絶対なんかあるんだよな。サイモンはなかった。 ガラス。赤ちゃん。ガラス。逮捕。ない。エリックはなかった。口論。ない。母。日記。夢。本。うん。風。紙。お、出た。
What did your wife do? She didn't kill you.
あ、浮気とかもやってない
You
か。
think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
浮気。あ、出てない。
She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman. But it's okay because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine.
うん。
An affair. Simon wasn't having an affair. No, I have never been unfaithful. I've never cheated on Simon. Have I ever cheated on Simon? You asked that question yesterday. Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can.
うん。うん。浮気あるの？イブは落ちない。 となんだろう。ダイヤモンドが52個もある。これがよくわかんないんだよな。なぜあんなことをしたのか、なんて答えたらいいの？ちょっと攻略サイト見る。あ、そうだ。人生やってなかった。やってみたかった。人生。あったあった。
Nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The blood. It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
最後。殺人って確かなんか、一番最初にやらされたけど、3件しかないのか。いや、関係ないか。うん。なんだろうな。どうしたらいいんだろう。ガラスもやったよな。違う違う。ガラス。7件。待って。これをやってみるか。なんかログオフとか、そういうのやってないから。コンティニューになるだけ？コンティニューになるだけか。ああ、これでいいんだ。ならよかったよ、サラ。外で待ってるからログワークして出てきて。あら。ない。なるほどね。つまりだから、これが、その時に生まれた子供が、なんでこんなことになったのかっていうのを知りたくてやってて、で、それを知るために特別にこのデータを見せてもらってるみたいなことだったんだよね。で、それで本人が納得したと思えば終わりっていう、明確な終わりがないタイプのゲームってことかな。多分そういうことだな。うーん。 なるほどね。で、裏コマンドがあって、15個まで見れるようにするっていうのがあるんだって。アンダーバーどれ？いや、アドミン。もうこれアンダーバーになってない。こうか。あ、できたできた。だから、これを使って、もう一回ちょっとあまりに量の多いやつの、こうだわ。これよ。こういうのを見てったらいいんだ。
No. I mean, everyone loves Simon. He was so nice to everyone. He loves me.
うんうんうん。あ、これで7個とかのやつはもう見れるようになるわけじゃん。オッケーだ。待って待って。6個。これ見れる。
Can you arrest someone who doesn't exist?
赤ちゃん。これだけだったんだ。
Then she told me she wanted to help more. She said I should move in with her. She would come clean with Simon about me. I was family. I couldn't have a baby in a bedsit. I told her I didn't want to tell Simon. Told her to wait for the time being.
うんうんうん。エリ、これ
The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there.
9個は見れてない。分かった。もう終わってるのか終わってないのかが分からんっていうのかな。
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm quite a private person and I didn't want to get into the detail of the argument.
はは。
Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection would always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. TV was magical, but it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books.
うん。
Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice.
お父さんもあるかな。母は
If Hannah was
検
eating
索
a
してたけ
lot,
ど、
they
父が
didn't
な。
mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy appetite. If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend.
空想の友達。
Once, she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear and she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready. Mum was amazed.
うん。父はどう？
Must think it's very cool that their dad is a police detective.
ないか。嘘の友達ない。いや、意外とちゃんと見てるよね。私は頑張ったよ。よし。出ないのある。
Simon's parents offered to put me up, but I didn't think it would be a good idea. It would be too sad. Not right now. I'm staying at a friend's.
うんうん。
Could they have been my parents' fingerprints? I'm not sure how long they last for, but is that possible?
指紋とかもいけそうだよね。指紋。あ、出た。
Fingerprints. Really? Go on then. Take the cup. Run your fingerprints. They'll match. Fucking idiot.
誕生日。
Yes. The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think. We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection was staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving. I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday.
ああ、自分の誕生日でもあるっていうことを気づいたんだ。
We just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements. When she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had. She knew that instant. The look on his face. She
なるほどね。なんかだんだん分かってきたけど、ああ、タグ出てなかった。
This is the third day running you've called me in. I speak to Doug and Eleanor every day. And they say you've been asking a lot of questions about me. Should I be worried? Am I a suspect?
容疑者。検索の方をやってから行こう。はい。出てる。結婚。
Are you married? How is your sex life? No. No, he wasn't wearing his wedding ring.
指輪ね、確かに指輪も調べてないな。勉強の家 X の6番とか見てるか。ベッド見てる。イブ見てる。 鏡。ああ、見てないな、あれ。
Silverleaf? No. He normally silvers them properly. This mirror, it's supposed to look antique. The reflection isn't as good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own reflection.
自分の顔が嫌いなの？あ、75% 以上アクセスしたっていうのが出た今。
Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it by hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. That's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror and he gave it to me.
コーヒー。
Coffee, I guess. Milk and sugar.
おとぎ話出てる。風出てる。網出てる。屋根裏出てる。妊娠出てる。結構出てるな。ああ、結構あるな。
That should eliminate me as a suspect. If I was in Glasgow, can't be in two places at once.
アリバイの話をしてる。
I thought it made me sound suspicious. It's not a normal thing to do to drive to the other end of the country. I wanted to keep it simple. I know it was stupid not to tell you everything. Saying I spent the night in Glasgow when my husband went missing, I thought it would, distract you from what was important. It's different now. Now he's...
これ人によって多分動画を見る順番が全然違うだろうから。
We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. You've spoken with the hospital?
行く。見てる。窓。見てる。見てる。ラグはさっきやったな。日記。浮気。ないもんは多分最初の方しか出てこない。だいぶ埋まった。あとはなんかね、ランダムでできるやつもあるらしいんだけど、ちょっとこの辺やってみるか。仕事。容疑者。容疑者。あ、これで見てない。
Okay. So you want to eliminate me as a suspect?
犯人とかどうかないわ。指輪なし。顔。これはいっぱいあるの？そういうわけでも。あとね、そのランダムで出るやつがあるらしくて、それをやってみるか。アドミン、アンダーバー、ランダムだったかな。あれ。ランダムが A か。 そうか。ああ、ランダムアクセス。
No. Everyone loved Simon. He's a glazier who doesn't have much money. I don't know.
ああ、なんで殺されたのかみたいな話をしてんだよな。これをコピーしといた方がいい。入れられねえ。あ、嘘発見器のやつだ。
Sorry. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yes.
嘘とかなんか出ないかな。嘘。あ、出た。
Yes. I'll take a lie detector test. I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work? My name. That was the only question I failed.
最初花って答えてたの。
Your lie detector works.
うん。それでちょっと粘ってみるか。なんか出た。
No. I'm not sure what Strange would be, but he hasn't been acting odd. He's been busy at work, but
ストレス。
too stressful.
ストレス入れてみる。ストレス。ない。これ完全に当たりというか見てないやつじゃなくてってことだね。
Sure. Yes, of course, if that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there.
電話ってやってないね。あ、見てないのある。
I mean, I don't know. Something must have happened to him on his way home. He could be hurt. I mean, why hasn't he phoned? I don't know.
もう一個。
She sent him out the house, kicked him out, called me up, crying, and I went round. I guess I had a feeling I could hear something was wrong in her voice, but I wasn't sure what it was. She called me sister on the phone. She never calls me that.
うん。電話11だから全部見れてるな。うん、この方法良さそうだな。ああ、いいな。
No, Simon wasn't seeing another woman.
女性とかにする？見て出てきてないやつがあったら検索してみれば広がるかもしれないもんね。あ、なんか出た。
Sure, I think. I do all the bills and paperwork and
支払い、お金。
should be easy for me to find. Do you want them dropped off to you?
やってみるか。支払い、お金ないか。まあ、ほとんどもう出てるってことだもんね。あ、出た。
Okay, I'll try my best to remember.
思い出とか。 違うな、字が。思い出。お。ないか。あ、出た。
No, it's okay. The other detective has just gone to get
刑事も確かに出てきてない。やってないな。刑事。やってあった。いいぞいいぞ。
You must be desperate for leads if you're getting hung up over 6-month-old speeding tickets.
タクシーにぶつかったやつ？違反。切符。お。
I remember the ticket, of course. I paid it without telling Simon. Didn't want to get told off. And they put points on the license.
免許とかもやってないか。運転出てこないか。
What about us?
これだけで何を入れて当てろって言うんだよ、この動画をって感じ。いいね。
Okay.
何？
I've given blood before. Do you need to take that for your
血
records?
液。血液検査されてる。でもこれだけなんだ。
Oh, tastes fine to me. As long as it's black and strong, I'm good.
コーヒーね。ブラック。濃い。いや、それぐらいしかないもんね。あ、出た。
I wasn't in the house.
いや、出まくってます。43もある。何個ぐらい動画あるんだろうね、これ。あ、出た。
Hurt someone?
暴力。
Yes. But everyone thinks that from time to time, right? You just want to
怒
lash
り。
out.
暴力、怒りでいこう。欲。怒り。怒り。ない。これ。
Yes. It was a shock to him. I mean, we never thought it was possible. I don't know what he... I mean, I hadn't decided whether to keep the baby. I wasn't really ready to talk to him about it.
違うか。お、見てない。
Yeah. I pulled over and slept in the
あ、
car.
事故した後ね。
This was just by the side of the road. I was exhausted. When you suspect someone of murdering their husband.
殺す。確かに入れてないか。夫。と、あ、見てないの意外とある。ああ、こぼした後だ。
I'm okay. Rehearsed? You ask me the same question, you'll get the same answer. Is that your evidence? Of course I thought about what happened then. It's all I've thought about. My husband is dead.
だってこれで全部15個。あ、じゃあ全部な。夫は確かにやってなかった。
Yes. Like a story. A beginning, a middle.
物語とか入れたのにな。始まり、終わり、中身、なし。見ていけば見ていくほど、もうだって見てない動画があった。減っていくから。これね、絵を見てなんか言うやつね。
Okay. She's being chased. They're trying to catch her because she did something bad. I guess she broke the rules.
ル
Or
ールね。
maybe they think she did something bad. Maybe it wasn't her fault. She looks scared, not guilty. Maybe it was mistaken identity. Did they catch her there? I don't know.
うんうんうん。ルール。無実。お、出た。
I can take the stuff off now. Did I prove I'm innocent?
罪。ない。お、出た。なんか書いてる。
Let me see. Yes. I drove in here because I remember well I went over the river.
うんうん。
And then there was a church there.
なんか電話鳴ってるね。
And I probably
プリンセスス
well, I
トリ
remember
ー
seeing a
ト。
street sign called Princess Street. There it is. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it must be this one. There.
車。まあいっぱいあるでしょ。プリンセス。す。お、出た。
Yes.
はいだけあるし、はいだけで。
I think so. I mean, to get into our garden, we'd have to climb through other gardens. All the gardens back onto each other, so you'd have to climb over 1, 2, 3 gardens to get to ours. I mean, did anyone see anything? Did anyone see anyone come and go? An intruder? When will the police let me back in the house? And they let me take a bag of clothes with me, but... You have children?
子供はいるののはいなんだ。そんなことない。
Yes. Yes.
質問がわかんないのにはいだけ取ってても意味ねえだろう。
Yes.
じゃあいい絵がある。やっぱり。
I didn't. I slept in the car. I left about 9 that night. I wasn't there. No, I don't think it was. I turned the key, but it was already unlocked.
鍵ね、確かに調べてない。
No! You're talking to the wrong person if you think I'm some kind of slut. If you think I'm the kind of person that would have had sex with all those guys.
鍵。違う。鍵。
Yes. I always pull it shut and then lock the bigger lock with the key.
ないか。
past the hospital.
病院、いや短いのよだから。病院連絡なし。お、運がいい。
Yeah, I had to let myself in. The
イ
door
メ
locks
ー
at
ル
the swings
ロ
too.
ックロックなし。
No, no one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Someone summoned you from the rock.
誰とお、出た。運がいいわね。ああ、この鏡ね。
Yes, this is it. He made it himself. It's a special one-off.
彼とか彼女とかも相当ありそうだけどね。装
He
飾。
decorated it. That's his thing. Where did you find it? これはもう無理だね。彼女。うん。鏡のやつだ。 On his throat.
ああ、喉も検索してないっけ。
How?
喉。あ、見てない見てない。
Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room. His throat had been cut. There was a lot of blood. Yeah, he was dead.
なんだこれ。なんだこれ。血はどう。死んで。喉切り裂く。ないな。多分全部見たら 100% になりましたっていうのが出ると思うんだよ。ああ、性生活も確かにやってないな。生活。お、出た。
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
殺してない。間違った。お、出た。
Well, there you go. How many kids?
子供。こっちだったね。見てるわ。
Just the one sugar. Thanks.
あと、
Is that camera recording?
なんか最初の方っぽい感じ。佐藤さんじゃん。録画。あ、
Is that camera recording?
If
you put me on, you've been framed. I want the money.
うんうん。ああ、警察手帳かなんか。
You must love them very much. What ages are they?
あ、そういえばさっき3時って言ってたのをやってない。3時。ないんかい。違う違う。あ。
I mean, what if they were crazy? You hear about these crazy people all the time. I mean, why would anyone who knew Simon want to kill him?
愛。頭。見たのしか出てこないんで。あと何本ぐらいあるんだ。
And the hotel said he was there?
ホテルね、確かに。うん。もう出てんだよなってなんで。お、嘘発見器。嘘発見器の家はそりゃ出てこねえな。ほら、どうしようもないんだもん。こんな検索引っかかんないんだもん。やった。271個のクリップがあって何にも入れないで出てくるってことは271あるのかな。ノーばっかり出てくるようになった。両親が気づいてなかったっていうのがすごいよね。
If one of us had a hangover, the other one would go to school. Whoever was best at a subject would sit the exam. There were lots of differences between us. Some things one is better than the other at.
得意、領域とか。領域ないかー。
My sister is gone. And she's never coming back.
やっぱさ、殺してるよね。あ、データベースすべて閲覧したになった。これはもう決まりですね。終わりだ。なるほどね。つまり、2人の女の子がいて、1人はその生まれたままお母さんのところに行ったんだけど、もう1人はへその緒が引っかかって生まれませんでしたって言って、本当は生きてたんだよね。で、お母さんはそれが死んだと思ったまま、もう1人の子は助産師の人に育てられたと。で、いつかその2人が出会って、で、その両親が住んでた、その女の子を産んだ両親が住んでた屋根裏とか地下室とかに、そのもう一人の子は隠れ住んでたんだよね。で、それが2人がいつしか入れ替わったりとか、その一人の人間として、花っていう一人の人間として入れ替わりながら生きていくようになっていって、で、そのうちにその男の人とか、その好きになった相手とかも共有していったんだけど、結局それが本当のところで私のものにしたいみたいな気持ちが出てきた時にやっぱり分け合えなかったっていうことだよね。でそれでまあ今回の件が起きたと。でサイモンっていう旦那さんがいて、なんとか暮らしてたんだけど、花もともと花だった方なのかな。その花の方がサイモンのことがすごく好きで、独り占めしたいって思うようになって、で1回目セックスした時に子供ができて、でそれでうまくいくのかと思いきや流産しちゃって子供ができない体になったと。でもう1回子供ができたんだよね今回。でそれで なんかそこら辺もよくわかってないんだけど、結局多分子供ができたのは花の方なのかな、イブの方なのかな、イブの方のような気もすんだよな。で、イブの方が結局妊娠して、で、花は子供ができない体になってたから、妊娠はできなくて、で、その、サイモンは2人がいるっていうことに薄々気づいてきて、それをだんだんと分かってきた中で2人とそれぞれと付き合ってて、で、これは別の人なんだっていう風に思ったから2人を引き合わせようとしたんだよね。で、それに、花の方が気づいて、で、まあそれを、まあ多分揉めたんだよね、誕生日の日に。本当に好きなのはその妊娠させた子の方なんだっていう風に言われて、まあ花は選ばれなかったっていうことが許せなくて、その割れたガラスの破片で彼の首を切ってしまったんだね。で、死体を隠してっていう、この証言をするに至ったっていうことなんだよね。という風に理解いたしました。で、最終的には、でもこの子供が生まれてるっていうことは、やっぱり妊娠してたのはイブの方なんじゃないかなって私は思ってて、で、イブは捕まりはしたけど、イブっていう存在自体が、本当はこの戸籍とかにはない人間だから、私のことをどう裁くんだって言ってたのは多分そういうことなのかなって思う。という感じかなって思いました。いや、こんな感じでハーストーリー終わりですかね。いやー、ちょっと短めだけど、こう、ギュッとまとまってていい感じのゲームでしたね。謎解きものもなんかちょっと久しぶりにやったから楽しかったです。どうもありがとうございました。またねー。